Hi there, my name is Katinka. I'm the seamstress at the cottage and welcome back to my channel. It is Friday sews again and I get so excited on a Friday because then I can actually meet up with all the other seamstresses or sewers out there and I love it. One of the things that this hashtag has brought me, it's brought me community, but it's also brought me to a place of accountability where I actually have to finish what I started, which previously was just like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore, so I would just leave it on the side until 2 years later. Hence, all the things around me today. So, this hashtag was started by Jen from Jen's Sewing Room, and I will link her link below. And it's such a nice hashtag because, as I said, I love how it brings people together. I'm going to talk to you about the whips that I finished this week first. Let's start with this one. So, this used to be a dress. It had like a fold over here in the middle, which I was going to put some embroidery on, and it was actually cut in one, all in one. So the thing was, it was very big. So I put a fold here and a fold at the back, and I thought I can fix it. And it had a long skirt, but it was just this blob of plain material, and it did nothing for me. So when I grabbed all the half-done things in my collection, this came out, and I thought, I will wear it, but will I like it? And that's one of the things I want to actually talk about today, is often we make things and then we end up not liking it. And then you feel like you've committed so much time into making the thing that you now have to wear it, or you get so discouraged that you throw it in a corner and you start the next thing, and in the end you end up with this heap of stuff that you don't wear and you don't like. So I've really made it my challenge this year that everything I make, I have to fiddle with it until I like it. Or I have to fix it, do it, and have somebody in mind that I can give it to. And so I had nobody I could give this to, but I do need like jerseys or cardigans to wear with my dresses because I love wearing dresses. So I thought about it, and then I realized I can actually give it buttons because there was enough material here in the middle. I made the back, just open it up because it's lined, and I just made it smaller, and then I gave it these beautiful coconut shell buttons. I can't remember who gave it to me, but I just love them. So I like it, and it also looks beautiful with this dress. Here's a quick view of the dress with the jacket over it. And it's nice and soft, so it's going to feel like a cardigan, which I love. And to make it a bit longer, I just gave it a double hem, like that. And that also covered the open seams. I cut it open, and I've sewed it down, and now I'm just adding a band. And I do that by first sewing the band to the top. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it over and pin it in place like I've started there. And then just sew it on the edge right around. You might be wondering what I'm wearing. It's just self-drafted overalls with pockets on the back. And I've done them, I think I did them 2 years ago. One December I was looking for something to wear, and I had this toile that was given to me by a friend. The next thing I did was this dress. I made this up in 2020, beginning 2020. I started this dress and I started making it, and when I put it on, I hated it. Love the material, but also it was just at the start of COVID, so I don't know about you, but I ate my misery away. So it didn't fit properly, and then I just put it away also in that heap in the corner. So I thought I would take it out and I would fix it up and then find somebody that would like it. And then I tried it on and it actually fit me, and I was so chuffed. So I made this dress. Was inspired by Sonder floor dresses. Oh, their things are so beautiful. But I cannot pay that for a dress. I just can't, even though it's linen and it's so beautifully made. So I made my own version. I gave it buttons down the front, also own drafted pattern. I cut the sleeves on. I find that works quite well for me. And then I gave it a gusset under the arm, because often when you have cut on sleeves, you struggle to move your arm. And this gives it the opportunity to actually move properly. How I'm going to show you. Dollar is coming towards you. Let's see if we can show. So I gave it that little gusset, and it really helps with movement under the arm. Another thing I did So I gave it inset pockets like that. So I gave it pockets in the back. I did not have completely enough material. So what I did is I gave it a little gusset like that. And what it did is it gave me enough material to move with, but it also gave it a little feature. So that's the back, and if you turn it to the front, you can see there's the buttons and there's the pockets over there. Another thing I did is I didn't have enough for facings, so I used iron-on, Violin, and I just put lace for the button band, and on this side I just put bias binding. And then for the hem, I have the stuff that you use in curtains, and you can iron it on, and so I just caught it all the way around, and I hemmed it like that. And I really, really love this dress. Let's take her back. Let's take her dollar. So yes, that's my Sonderfloor inspired dress. Love it. I'm sure there are patterns out there. I found a lot of like 90s patterns that's similar to this. So if you just go and scratch around, you will find some. Next thing I did is a friend sent me this beautiful skirt, but I don't particularly like skirts. I don't like things too tight around my waist. Unless it's tight, then I don't mind it. So I took the skirt, I cut it up. I had this lace over here, and I just gave it sleeves and a lining, and I love this dress. It is so pretty when you have it on. For me, a dress needs to have swoosh factor, and both of these have swoosh factor. When I turn with this, I turn into that little girl who used to love to twirl with her dresses, and I feel so feminine. And in this one, I want to add a pair of cowboy boots and go out and conquer the world. And that's another thing that I've realized recently, is how clothes makes you feel. And I've also realized that often I would just wear clothes because they're there, and I hate throwing stuff away, but I don't particularly like it. And so in the last while, I've started looking at what do I like, and what do I want in my wardrobe. So my wardrobe is very limited. I've cleared it out in 2017, and I gave myself a no-buy rule. I can only make, and since then, very little has come into my wardrobe. But I'm actually at a point where I look at some of the things, and even though I still like them, I don't love them anymore. And for the first time in a while, I'm actually ready to let them go. And that is one thing that I also wanted to put in here with this sewing community and with Friday Sews and all of that, is it's brought me to a place where I start thinking differently about my clothes, which is interesting. And now I'm going to show you what I want to make in the next while. I'm most likely not going to get time this week. I've got a big job with my friend who we do upholstery and stuff, and we've got a lot of blinds to sort out in the next while. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of sewing. But I have this Vogue pattern. It's Vogue 2581, and I just love that coat. Let me show you the back. Line drawings is always interesting. I think it's perfect, but instead of just cutting it off there, I'm going to give it a hood, because I do love hoods. Then I went into my stash and I came across this curtain. Now this curtain was in my friend's house. She lives down the road, and she's an antique dealer, and I think she found it at one of the antique shops and stuff, and she just put it up. So I walked in, I saw the curtains, fell in love with it, and was like, I want your curtains. Now all my friends know their curtains, their doilies, their tea cozies, they're not safe. Because I most likely will ask, oh, this is pretty, may I cut it up? And mostly the answer is no. But this cool friend said, yes, just get me some other curtains. So I went out and I bought her a set of curtains, and she was happy with it and I was happy with it. And now I have this beautiful material. Oh, it's just to die for. Look at that. So anyway, I want to make this coat out of that coat. And then I had this in my stash. I think when I still had my shop, I bought this and I made little camisoles out of it. But I bought quite a lot. So I'm going to line it with this. So the outside will have that blue, and then the inside will be this. And I do look forward to get this. It's a light summer coat because we are moving into summer. It was spring day on yesterday, on the 1st. And it was so cold and windy that it was miserable. I couldn't even wear my new spring dress. It is so cold. But I'm sure I'm going to get lots of wear out of it later. That's all the sewing stuff I have for today. So if you want to go and do something else and you were just here for the sewing, that's perfect. Thank you for watching. But I want to speak to you about, I had a question last week. One of the viewers asked, you're talking about the farm and this and that, but can you tell us more? What is it really about and what do you really do? And so I thought I'll quickly give you a small introduction to who I am and what I do. Now, in my first video, I did talk about the sewing stuff. So I am a full-time seamstress, but I also work 4 mornings a week. I work on a farm as it's food safety. We call it food safety. So if you have a farm and you produce products, and if you have to want to sell them to like grocery stores and stuff like that, you have to be food safety compliant, and you get it's called HACCP, and then it goes from there and you get more of it. So anyway, there's a lot of audits involved with that. And so with those audits, you must make sure that all the legal parts are in place and all the safety things is in place so that nobody gets poisoned by your product. So my job is to make sure that we are prepared for all of those audits. And then on the other hand, we have lots of farm workers who have not a full education. Maybe they've got to grade 7 or grade 10 if they're lucky, and some of them are even in grade 3, they left school. And so I also run the adult education program. So for the people who want to come, the farm gives them 3 hours a week, and then they can come to school and they do English. But it's English that you use in your everyday and maths that you use in your everyday. Like, you are buying a fridge on HP, and what is it really going to cost? Let's work that out. So it's that type of maths, and I love it. I love my students. They are my friends. So it is really a privilege to have this opportunity to work with all the people. My background, I have an honors degree in psychology, and I'm a qualified life coach. So I also work on the side as a life coach, which I love. And I find that one of my things is I've got ADD, actually ADHD some days, depending on a few things, but I get bored very quickly. And so I've realized quite early in life that I will never be able to just do one thing and focus on one thing. And so I've diversified, and that's how I landed up here. So this is my sewing channel. I do have a lifestyle channel where I show like DIY stuff, and sometimes when I go walk on the beach, I take you along. But here is where I talk about the passion that's been with me for the longest. And I'm so thankful that you're joining me, and for everybody who subscribed to this channel. And I hope you will enjoy this adventure, because for me it's an adventure, and it's so nice to have people that feel the same and that also love sewing and that can talk, that I can talk to about sewing. Because I've watched a video recently and the lady said, yeah, it's like I speak to my friends and my family and they look at me like so my sisters try to be supportive, and my brother, he just rolls his eyes, and my parents are there. But basically I'm kind of on my own, and some days it gets a bit lonely. So it's very nice to have a sewing community that I can be part of. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm so thankful you could join me, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy sewing!